All right, let's get our Bondo. Just a little bit. That should be good. Get our cream hardener. And we're just gonna put that off to the side. All right, so we have our Bondo Fast Dry filler. We have our cream hardener. And we have our little spatula piece. We're gonna mix these up. I just did that spot right there. We're gonna take care of this one up inside here and work our way around. So we're just gonna mix up this spot right here. And then we're gonna start moving fast because this is the fast dry. All right, and now you can see it's already dried up. This stuff is rubbery real quick, and then it'll just turn to a hard plastic. I want to get a little filler inside this spot right here. Button got jammed. That's interesting. First time that's happened. So I'll wipe this down real quick. There's a crack right here that needs to be repaired. I want to sand the crack down nice and flush and then just get rid of this edge right here and redo that. Make it nice and smooth all over again. All right, so here's where we're at so far. I just sanded that down. I'm getting through the center of this crease right here now. About to switch over to a 60 grit. This is a very gritty sandpaper. We just need to work down some of this original edge. That's all breaking apart and coming out. So we're gonna redo that. So we've got our iron lac once again, just touching up the bottom of the car, trying to do some rust prevention. I hit that with the grinding wheel to get all the surface rust off. Now we just hit it with some black to cover it up. And we're gonna work our way across the bottom and do the same for as much of it as we can cover. So much better, feels so much better. It's nice and flush, super smooth. On to the next one. All right, so we have a little split in the hood right here. It's not too bad. It's just the edge coming off. It's gonna be a quick fix. I'm gonna use a little bit of JB Weld. Before I do that, I'm gonna scrape out as much of the rust as possible. And then I'm gonna prime the inside of it so it gets as covered as possible. But I'm gonna put some JB Weld in here and then basically pin this back down into place. And that should dry and hold well enough. And we'll tack it here and here. That'll keep this tab from moving and having any further issues. And I think we'll be good. All right, so just like the Bondo, the JB Weld has 1 part steel and then 1 part hardener. So we're just gonna mix a little bit of the steel, a little bit of the hardener, and then we're gonna use that and apply it to the crack. You don't need too much, but you don't wanna go too light. It's all about balance, you know? And we're gonna go 1-to-1 on this. We have the steel, then we have the hardener. Now we're just gonna mix this up exactly like the Bondo. And when it turns gray, you're good to start filling your cracks. And this stuff will turn to a hard plastic that's also reinforced with steel bits on the inside. And this stuff is strong, it'll last, so. I'm gonna put the hardener inside and then kind of just spread it up along the edge. This is basically where the rust was building as well. And I don't know if this is gonna be much of a rust deterrent, but I'm pretty sure this stuff can rust as well. Now you can do your bolts, which in our case are 2 of these little screws. So you want to make sure this piece is lined up. I'll let this tighten down. I love these little ratcheting tools. All right, now we'll put our second one in, and this should clamp everything down perfectly. There we go. It's nice and tight. We have our edge sealed. We can run our finger along this right now and try and make that as flush as possible. Now good again. We have the edge back together. Those rivets that came out have now been replaced. I have these 2 screws in their place. And we put a little bit of the JB weld behind this, so when that dries, this will kind of reinforce it from the inside as well. This spot looks like it had just had some filler before, and a big chunk of the filler came out. So I'm just going to also use a chunk of filler. It's looking a lot cleaner. That little bit of filler, I can get the back right here with just a regular piece of sanding paper. Don't gotta be the cleanest with it. You are gonna sand it down. That's the way I look at it sometimes. All right, so we just finished up the sander right here, and this is looking really good. Had this one little spot. I had to stop using the sander because I didn't want to take away from here. We're going to work the rest of this with our hand and then probably add a little bit more filler to this one spot. But this outer edge is looking really good, super clean. It's coming along nice. Okay, so quick update. Got a little more Bondo fillage going on. Tapped out the little fender as best I could. And then threw some Bondo on. We're waiting for that to dry, and then we're going to sand it out, get it nice and smooth, make it look good again. The rest of the Bondo's in. I sprayed this one corner black just to see how it was looking. And that corner that I Bondoed is looking really good. That's just considered a little primer layer so you can see if there's any dips or anything. But it's looking good so far. Bondoed this area. We added some filler right here. Waiting for this to dry. We're going to shape it back out. And a little bit underneath each headlight. Taped off both of the headlights. And then worked our way down the same spot on this side. Also tapped it out. And then got it as flush as I could with the Bondo. And then this corner right here, which was previously Bondoed by previous owner or possibly Jeff, the original customizer of the car. But I just went ahead and stripped this back down, filled it in, and now we're about to sand that down, give it its final sanding. But that's looking way better than it was when we started. So in the hood, I think we're just about good. I'm going to leave this spot. I'm not going to worry about that. This side over here, we did the little fill job. That looks great now. You can't even tell. And right here, I don't know, for some reason in my camera, that looks like it's a rough spot, but that's actually really smooth. So on the side right here, we put the 2 screws in. I drilled through the old rivets that were cracked, or actually rusted away. So now we have a nice strong bond. I put the JB weld behind this with the steel reinforcement. So it was mixed in, and this is holding really strong now. Work our way to the back of the car. We're about to sand this down and reshape this back in, but I just touched up a few cracks that were in the original Bondo, picked away a piece that was there, and just filled it back in. So it looks good now. Hit that like button, subscribe, and tomorrow I'm going to get back out here, and we will start on the spraying of the primer. So, See you guys in about a minute in the next part of the video. All right, so I just got back out here working on the 55. I'm about to start taking some bolts out, get this bumper off, and then we can start doing the rear body work that we need to do. Once the rear body work is out of the way, we can start to spray. And man, do I want to spray. Oh, finally. Okay. We have the bumper off. I'm gonna go put this off to the side now. All right, time to knock some quick body work out. This is gonna be the last of the Bondo and the last of the cleaning up before we spray the primer. And man, am I happy to be here. It is hot out here. I'm tired of being in this thing. I just want to spray the car and get it over with. All right, so everything is officially taped off. All of the body work is officially done. We just hit the car with some mineral spirits to clean it off, and it is now ready for some primer. All right, so once again, we have our paint sprayer right here. It's our little paint gun. We have our Duplicolor paint primer. I'm gonna go with the gray shade. We actually have 2 of these. And yeah, let's pour this in and get started. Mix that up really well. And that's ready to spray. All right. Looking really good so far. A couple spots I'm gonna have to go back and touch up, but that's the whole point in doing the primer, so you can see all these things before you do the actual paint. All right, so over here, I noticed that there are 2 little dings that I want to work out before I prime over them. So I just applied some Bondo. We're gonna let this dry. I'm gonna go grab a drink because it's 111 degrees out here. And it's way too hot to be doing this, but I like doing it in the heat because the paint dries quick. So it's balanced. So we're gonna do this little panel here, and then we have the trunk area, and that's the last of it. See if we can get through as much of this as we can, but I'm definitely gonna need at least another quart. I just finished up with the primer on the 1955 Ford Customline. I am in love with this car even more than when I started. So now that the whole car is primed, I did see that I missed a few spots. I'm gonna go back, sand those spots down, fill them in, and then I'll just cover them back up with some spot primer from a regular can. I can't wait to start the actual paint job on this. In the next episode, you're gonna see I'm gonna do a little bit of pinstriping and then get ready and start on the actual paint. So hit that like button, subscribe, and stay tuned to see where this is going, because I promise you, it's worth it. See you in the next episode.